Are we ready? I think we're ready. Is it coming through? Oh, it's coming through. Hello, everyone. Does my hair look alright? I don't know. Does it look good? I'm doing some ASMR shit.
It looks better than mine.
Yeah. So, tonight, let's get this ball rolling. So, Mr. James Anatello coming on.
Hello.
And you are a DJ?
Yes, DJ.
And you diving into producing? I always got to ask.
Well, I've downloaded Ableton, so
Yeah,
that's a
that's
start.
a start.
So
That's a good start,
So
yeah.
I downloaded Ableton, and I've got a subscription to Loop Cloud, and now it's just a case of watching tutorials, maybe doing a course. But I know it's going to be like an obsessive thing.
Yeah,
Just like
that's
when
good.
I started DJing, it's going to be like this rabbit hole. So I'm just like, I need to get through like the next month of events and stuff, and then we can go, all right, let's hit a pause and let's actually try to
Very
focus
cool.
on this properly.
Very, very cool. So how did you get into music? How did you dive into this beautiful world of DJing and everything else that's going on?
Yeah, well, let's take it right from the start.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, let's take it right from the start. So, all right. So growing up, I was sort of in like a traditional household, and music was not sort of a big part of it.
Did you grow up in Perth?
No, I grew up in Canada.
Oh, in Canada.
So,
Nice.
yeah, so
Whereabouts in Canada?
Vancouver, West Coast.
Can we please Google that?
I should literally start putting Telloport and then Can just to make
Yeah,
it look
you
like an
should.
international
Well, that's
DJ.
what Saul Bliss would do.
Yeah, probably.
It's UK. It's just Saul.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my hometown there.
Very cool.
And so yeah, so growing up, music, it wasn't like a really big part of life. I wasn't really, very involved in it. And like, back then, like, internet wasn't really a big thing.
Yeah.
Streaming services were definitely not there, etc. So like, I had to like give an MP3 player to like a friend, be like, "Oh, can you just put some music in here?"
Yeah, yeah.
I just got what you got, right? And so that was kind of like, so I did value music, I guess, that way, because it was like, it's kind of underground, just acquiring music, really. So
did you just like turn the radio on or anything like that?
yeah,
or?
no, radios were confiscated. Like it was a pretty rough time. But,
Yeah, okay.
But then, so like that. So I started off listening to probably like R&B, hip hop, kind of from the radio version.
That's
of
so
that
good.
stuff.
It's like not allowed to listen to music. And
But
you
I
go
listened to the most offensive stuff.
Yeah,
right?
that's to go straight in the deep end.
Yeah, Eminem, Tupac. We're going to listen to all the themes we should not be listening to.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so then that kind of like, so fast forward, I moved from Canada to England when I hit uni.
Okay.
And so I went out in London.
Yep.
But
what year was this and how
2009, I was 17.
old? Oh, wow, okay.
So straight after high school. And got to like go to like Ministry of Sound, like, all the London clubs that were there at the time.
Yeah.
But mainly because
But
there was
when you were 17 as well.
Once I hit 18. So I hit 18 pretty quickly.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say, okay, no music, listening to R&B and hip hop, and going to clubs illegally.
Yeah, no. It was when I got to 18. So there was like student nights. So I'd just be like, just heading out in London, kind of just under the guise of studying or whatever. So,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And yeah, hit up like student nights in some amazing clubs, great sound systems. But it was once again, the friend group and the crowd was very much like the UK grime, R&B kind of crowd.
Yeah, yep.
The occasional sort of Ministry of Sound event, which used to be really cool with like a bit of house and stuff.
Yep. It's kind of cool though that you explored the genres.
But I think it was that wasn't really because I wanted to explore the genres. So it was just, hey, we're going out. This is where we're going, and we just ended up
at those
venues, hearing tracks that you may have recognized. A lot of it was from radio and stuff like that. And then I moved here in 2015. And
so what drove you here though?
Didn't like the UK.
Too cold.
Yeah, work-wise, just life-wise and stuff.
Yep.
Just wanted something fresh and new. And
was it your first choice? Were you thinking America as well? Or?
Nah, like, Canada was always kind of like the initial, hey, let's go back there. And then one of my friends was like, hey, they're looking for optometrists, which is what I do for work, as my like normal job. They were like, they're looking for optometrists in Australia. So I was like, what the hell? Hop on a plane. Yeah. 23. Did my board exams and stuff, and then came to Australia, and it was actually, and it was straight to Perth. Like I didn't go anywhere else.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have you visited the East Coast or anything at all?
Yeah, been to Melbourne like 8-9 times.
Yeah,
been to
nice,
Sydney
yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Brisbane once.
Melbourne's pretty cool, right?
Melbourne's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Melbourne was like, I just loved like the variety and just the eclecticness of Melbourne is pretty cool. And then it took me a while to like make friends here and stuff. And then eventually somehow I fell into a group of a party. And you know how it is in Perth. Like you met at like Geisha or like in Northbridge somewhere, or at a house party that you were invited to, and then you meet people and now you guys are best friends. So it was kind of one of those situations, and these guys were very much into electronic music and whatnot, so I started attending their house parties, the raves, and I was like, well, these are my people.
Like
right?
proper raves, or like,
yeah,
like beach parties and stuff.
Beach parties, warehouse parties,
Yeah, the good stuff.
The good stuff, the real passionate stuff, like where where there's a lot of passion and stuff, So started attending those, and became friends with the Alliance crew. So they're like, the Alliance crew.
Look those guys up as well. That's all good.
So the Alliance crew, they used to be a staple at Blazing Swan Festival.
They still are though, aren't they?
Still a thing. They're still a camp, but not active anymore.
Okay, yeah.
The Millennium Falcon that we've got is up in 2J.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, but that's its permanent home now. It's been concreted down.
Yep. The Alliance crew is just so cool. To build a life-size replica of the Millennium Falcon it's the life size, isn't it?
That's I think it's a quarter scale.
Okay, quarter of the scale.
I think so. I'm not 100%. Sorry,
still,
guys.
It is nuts.
I'm apologizing to the Alliance people that are probably going to give me shit later. Like, how did you not know this, the other?
Yeah, but it's.
But yeah, so that's
so
the
cool.
That's the Falcon now. It's up in 2J, and you can go on Google Maps and look up Millennium Falcon, and it will come up on Google Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually put a location point on it.
Yeah.
Can you guys try and find that? Like, that's so cool.
Yeah. So I wasn't actually. So I met these guys sort of after they started taking that to Blazing Swan. So I heard
it was just at Blazing Swan. I didn't think they'd take it down and deconstruct it and then put it
everything at Blaze gets taken down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Everything at Blaze gets taken down. Land is put back to as if nothing has happened.
Yeah. See, that's where I thought it's like everything's taken out except the Millennium Falcon.
No, the Falcon. The thing is, the way the structure is, it's like a sea container.
Yeah.
And then I think that acts as one of the key structural elements to keep it together.
Yep.
And then it gets dismantled and put all in the container.
That's really good. That's awesome.
So a good friend Obi.
Obi, yeah.
Obes, yeah. Yep. So Obes, I believe, is the guy who designed the thing.
Look at that. That's where it is.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so since we've put it up there, we've had a few parties, and it's been that was my first time then actually, because I went up there and sort of helped them with the installation and stuff.
Yeah.
And then to see it all light up and the stage and being able to play on that stage, it's a vibe.
Yeah, I can imagine. A vibe. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. So
it's just on someone's property.
Yeah. So it's a mate of ours, Richo. He has a property up near 2J, so it's about an hour out of Perth.
Yep.
Which makes it nice so you can still go, you hear a lot of these parties and 2 hours away.
Yeah,
3 hours.
3 hours.
This is an hour. We can, and sometimes we've just gone up to the property just to sit and chill, just enjoy the stars. Not always partying, it could just be a nice little place. So
just hang out with the Falcon, yeah.
Yeah. So the Alliance crew, there was you got some OG DJs, right?
Yeah.
I would love dancing, and I would love just watching them, the aura that they had about them, and they were my friends too. So it was I was supporting my friends dancing, and then COVID hit, and I think I was looking for something to do. So that was kind of something I always thought about DJing, but I was no musical training, never played an instrument. How are you gonna do any of this? This is not something you can't even keep a rhythm if you're trying to beat a drum or something, right?
Yeah.
And because as a kid I didn't jam with people, none of that. So everything in music that I saw was perfect production. I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't do the perfect production.
How do you make a song
how do I become that? So I kind of didn't do it, and then didn't want cameras on me, center of attention.
That's it. Sometimes people just don't want to DJ in front of heaps and heaps of people. They just want to have fun or do a closed circuit or anything like.
But then I also was like, it'd be really cool to be up on a stage. So
yeah,
it was like,
yeah.
So one of my friends, Neil, DJ Hijinks,
DJ Hijinks.
Hijinks, yeah.
Okay, I think I've heard of him.
There's two Hijinkses in Perth though.
There's two DJ Hijinkses.
Two Hijinkses.
Spelled the exact same.
I think so. Although Neil's new alias that we came up with a few weeks ago is now Elon Musk. So
Elon Musk.
Look out for some Elon Musk music coming up at some point.
That's surely that's like DJ Hijinks. One of them would be like, no, you can have the name.
But I think they do different genres completely, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Neil, under his hijink, like he doesn't really like go out and chase gigs and stuff too much. Like he's house parties, like Alliance parties, Blazing Swan, kind of. That's where he's going to be at.
Yep.
But he kind of got me onto. He was like, hey. I was messing around for like 2-3 years, not knowing what I was doing, and then I came across this course by Crossfader in the UK, and he's like, periodically they run a sale where it's like $100 or whatever, and you get the course. So I was like, all right, cool. Okay. Looked out for the sale, got it for $100, and then I bought the RX2 controller.
How was the course though? Would you rate it or?
Yeah, if you have no so in the end, I only ended up doing about 7 of the lessons, and then I kind of.
Can we try and find it? So like what
Crossfader? Crossfader.co.uk, I believe. Yeah, those are the guys. So basically, so essentially the nice thing what they do, right? So I had chosen to have the Pioneer RX2 controller. Their course is tailored with that controller. So you get to see what's done.
That's cool. Yeah.
And they actually give you like little sample packs and stuff. So they essentially, like, for example, right? They teach you, I remember the course, the lesson I did was like, what is a beat? How do you beat match? What is a phrase? What is key? How do you use filter? Like those little things to like create really good transitions.
Yep.
And they would like tell you, okay, so download the pack. Here's a house loop. So you have a house loop going, and then play the same house loop on the other side. Knock it in time. Hear that it phases out, and you're like, okay, so that's now in beat. Knock it out. How does that sound? Knock it back in. Cover your screen and practice.
That's cool. That's a good way to do it, because then it's actually teaching you the faults and how to correct the faults.
The fundamentals of DJing. So if you rock up somewhere and the equipment's not quite to the way you're used to.
Believe me, I've seen that happen out and about. Why isn't it playing music? Plug the red and white into the red and white.
Your crossfader's on, like something's on. And there was a thing I saw today on Facebook. It was like a little image. It was like, the first 10 to 15 minutes of DJ sets are figuring out what's not working or something like that. I was like, that's so true.
Yeah, that can be, yeah.
It's so true. So anyways, I started that course, and then I got a few basics, and then I was like, okay, let me like, and I just, the delivery was a bit monotonous for me, but it gave me the basics that I needed. Plus, the other great thing is like, with being part of the Alliance crew, like you have some like superstar DJs, right?
Help you out, yeah.
And so they give you advice, and the nice thing is you got opportunities as well, and opportunities to play at house parties and stuff were great because you got a chance to give it a go, and and the good thing was like people were supportive in terms of encouraging, but they were also like, hey, like this is where you probably should look to place some efforts, etc.
Yeah, to improve and things that pick up on and stuff.
And and Micah, he is a legend.
Micah, M-I-K-A?
M-I-C-A-H. So he's one of the OG DJs in Perth. He's on with Mittens on RTR, I think every Monday, and he's been like staple in like the scene for like.
Can we try and find that RTR Monday? Like what's the show? Or just Micah, so M-I-C-H.
M-I-C-A-H, Micah, DJ Micah, he's like a ledge.
Yeah.
And he's so knowledgeable, and he's just such a good dude as well. And so when I started mixing, he had told me to send him.
There you go. So he's on full frequency.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good station to be on.
Yeah, he's a legend. Like he plays he plays main stage at like every festival around. And he's such a nice human as well.
Yeah.
And he helped me. So when I first made a little set, I was like, oh, I'm pretty proud of this thing here. I sent it to him, and he sent this really long feedback, which has been used on every subsequent.
That's good. That's really what you need as well. Yeah. It's like someone to actually give you like constructive feedback, but being nice and polite about it, being like, you could do this, you could do that, the whole lot, instead of just being like, yeah, it was a good mix.
So fast forward 2 to 3 years, like there's a dude I won't mention his name, but he sent me something, and he wanted to be part of like Liquid drum and bass kind of, which we'll touch on shortly. But he sent me some stuff, and like it's just too many tunes in a short space of time, like not letting it try, like it was just not the best listening experience.
Yeah, not letting him breathe or anything.
So I said to him, look, I'll give you, if you want, I can give you constructive feedback. And like I said, and I was kind of like debating, how do I give this? Because I know he's got it, like he's got the potential. He produces, like he's musically very well gifted.
Yep.
But this wasn't the best experience of listening. So I was like, look, I'm not going to tell you about your song selection because that's your artistry. That's you telling your story.
Yeah.
But technically, I would say try to do, don't let the beats drift for too long. Be very cautious of your EQ work and let tracks breathe a little bit. And then he sends me something like a couple weeks later, and oh my god, it was fun. Like I was just like, I had the fattest smile on my face because it was such an amazing experience to listen to.
That's so good though. It's like you're giving construction fakes,
and I believe, and he's getting that mix on some YouTube channel coming up soon. So
that's awesome.
So I was so happy that like I can see he's doing the work. He wants to get better. And like, I know when it comes to production, I'll know nothing, and I'm going to go to him like, yo,
yeah, that's it.
Help me with this. Fix me.
Yeah, please help.
Please help. I don't know what I've done. I don't know what buttons I've pressed. But, so yeah, it's just like, to have, people like Micah, people like in the Alliance crew that were just so helpful from the start, which then sort of made the progress quicker to learn. I suppose, because it's not even been 3 years yet since I got behind the decks.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're still kind of, not new to it, but you're
still like very new. But I've been blessed to be able to play at some of the festivals and stuff, like Blossom Festival last year and the year before, Full Circle Festival, a few sets at Blazing Swan, and now starting to get a few drum and bass gigs in Perth. Which is pretty cool. But it took me a while to, I guess, find my sound. Yeah, that was the other thing, right? Because like, I love a lot of music. Like I think with most music, like there's a time and place where a mood and environment is
atmosphere, energy, correct, everything.
And so I kind of like it all, and I've tried to mix most of it, which is pretty fun. But I learned with drum and bass, which is probably one of the hardest genres to mix because of the speed and the broken beat nature. And so then when I went from that to house, I was like, oh, this is fine. I've got time to do things. This is great.
That's it. Progressive house in 6.5 minutes. Like,
but I ended up, I love like Blossom Festival, Tim Braybrook, like just the way he puts together his like melodic techno and stuff. It's so captivating for me. Like some people find that music boring, but I'm like, this is so interesting. And then I also like bass music, so bass house, bit of house, breaks, drum and bass. Oh, drum and bass. The first time I heard drum and bass, I hated it. I was like, this is a terrible genre. Who would listen to this?
What was it? What type of drum and bass? Like jump up or something?
It was probably jump up or like screechy drum and bass, as I call it. And that was it. I was just discovering all these little electronic music things. And Perth, they loves their heavier hitting, raw sound, jungly drum and bass. And
drum and bass has been such a big influence in Perth nightlife for a long time.
Absolutely.
I think it's like it's London and then it's WA Perth.
Something like that. Yeah.
For like the biggest.
And I think New Zealand's in that talking as well. I think they try to claim second.
Yeah.
But that's a whole country. We're just a city, So like,
that's it. Yeah.
And, but it is that like that raw drum and bass, that raw sound jungle. Like, but that's the stuff I don't love the most actually. So that's why I was kind of like, I'm starting to like it a bit more now, but like selectively.
Yeah, you like that's the thing about any genre. It's like you got to kind of wade through everything to find the gold, find the stuff that you like, basically.
Yeah, and it was so then I was like just listening to random drum and bass, and then I came across Liquidity Records. And
so Liquidity Records.
And so they do. So Liquidity Records is run by Maduk, or Maduk. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
I think it's Maduk.
Maduk. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. And he does a year mix every year, and he's been doing one.
A year mix.
Year mix. So at the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
puts together Liquidity tunes. And they have a festival as well, which happens in July near the Netherlands. I believe that their festival, actually, they do something really awesome where they have these like cardboard tents that you can just buy.
Cardboard tents?
And they're set up there like €20, whatever, and they get recycled at the end. I think that's an amazing idea.
That is a really good idea. That's an amazing idea, because it's just...
Then recycle it and it's fine. It's water resistant, not waterproof, but then you don't really have to worry too much about that here.
Yeah.
So I listened to his year mix, one of his year mixes. I think it was 2018 year mix. And I was like, this is nice drum and bell. What is this? Like it was very polished, very refined, dreamy, European sounding, I suppose. So I was like, this is awesome. So that's kind of the drum and bass I love the most.
And that's Liquid, right?
So it's sort of Liquid and Dancefloor. So but then you have like Liquid, and Liquid is its own kettle of fish. And like, some people go, that's not Liquid. This is not Liquid. This is Liquid. And Sound Territory on YouTube. Sound Territory is a channel, and they have Liquid drum and bass mixes. Liquid drum and bass mix number 60. That's got 20 million views on it. It's like a 3-hour mix.
Number 60 specifically.
Number 60 is their best one.
Yeah.
And like you in the Perth drum and bass page, occasionally there's a Liquid post, and someone puts Liquid drum and bass number 60, and people know exactly what mix that is, because that is that's the OG mix. But that's a sound that kind of gave me like the melodic elements, like it's a bit trancey on the breakdowns, and then it gave me this like polished, deep, rolling bassline sounds through the music. And so that's, I sort of started really falling in love with that.
That's so good though. It's like specifically, that's like, have you ever heard of Noir Recommends at all?
No.
So
yeah, maybe. Actually.
Yeah, so Noir, he plays alongside like Carl Cox and stuff like that. But he does like a radio station, and I think it was like, for me, it was like 50. I think it was like 58 or 48 and 47 or something like that.
Yeah.
But those mixes are beautiful. So good, honestly.
Yeah, so Liquid drum and bass then was kind of, it just became like a thing. What I love about it, I think, is its versatility. Like, you can sit there listening to it, and you can process it in like halftime and listen to all the sounds, and you relax. But then you can get up and have a boogie at like 174 BPMs too. So that's kind of really cool. And I really like my vocal stuff as well. So like Hybrid Minds.
Yeah, Hybrid Minds good. Can we look that up as well?
Got to see them just recently at Metros. Oh,
really
amazing. Good? Yeah, amazing.
What was your first DJ set like? And where was it? Just 1 hour or?
My first set, like, out, or are we talking?
Yeah, out and about,
So my first set was at Valley Groove Festival up in Geraldton.
Your first set was at a festival?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, not just like a pub or something like that, or just a small time event.
But it was like opening set of the festival, so it was a pretty like I felt quite a lot of pressure, obviously, because it's your first set. And
how do you spell it though? So it's Valley Groove.
Valley Groove.
Groove. Okay.
Groove. So Valley Groove Festival. I played for a funky house set. Was my first set.
Yeah.
Because I think like, when you look at festivals, like there's very like either bass heavy festivals, or like we don't want anything to do with drum and bass. Like it's one or the other a lot of the time. There's not a lot of like bringing drum and bass into a festival, and I think some of it is because a lot of the drum and bass that people enjoy is like what I would say offensive drum and bass. It's really heavy and hectic, right?
Yeah, that's it.
People that are into prog and melodic are not really going to want that at their kind of festival.
Exactly.
I think Liquid and a bit of Dancefloor kind of bridges the gap a little bit. I think, at least, but yeah. Is that the one? Yeah, that's it. That's Valley Groove. Nice festival up there, actually. They've got, but it's very like housey kind of vibes. It kind of gave me Wild Camp Out vibes a little bit, actually. Wild Camp Out Festival vibes, but
yeah, okay, very cool.
So that was my first one.
Yep. And was it not long after that when you discovered drum and bass? Or?
Oh no, so I'd liked drum and bass until then, but I was just playing to what they wanted.
Yep.
So in the background, kind of, mixing drum and bass.
Don't worry about whatever that was.
And like Perth drum and bass is a very awesome community, and it's a very there's some really awesome people in there. But like because of my taste in drum and bass is very maybe different, maybe a little bit eclectic, not common. I didn't always go to all these events for Perth drum and bass. Like if it was not an artist that I wanted to see,
Yeah,
or,
that's fair. Yeah.
you know, so I didn't go as much. So I didn't really network as much in that community to start with. And so obviously getting a set there is going to be a lot harder, right? And then what happened from Valley Groove? So from Valley Groove came Blossom Festival.
Oh, so it was literally your second gig.
That was my second.
Damn.
And that was Organic House, actually.
Okay.
I played on the outside, the chill stage. And so I asked for that in my application, actually.
Really?
So I was like, it's my second gig. I don't really think I should, I don't want to play too much pressure. I don't want, and everyone's going to apply for
That's modest. That's nice.
Everyone's going to be applying for those big stages. Let me apply with something different and unique on the outside stage. And so I asked for Saturday afternoon, and in my application I sort of put that I sort of wanted it to be like a nice chill set. People are having some lunch. Friends can all be in the same place. We can get kind of ready for the night ahead. And that's essentially what ended up happening. Like all my friends were all together. That was the only time we were all together in the place. They were all taking photos. You know, people were eating. It was just a nice vibe.
Yeah.
It was once again like it was a great experience. Like playing, you know, the booth monitor wasn't working.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, learning to mix in your headphones, like learning to deal with some of
the tech issues.
The tech issues, right? Yeah. So that was my second one.
And it worked out well. There's no problems.
Yeah.
Fallback or
no. So I actually quite like not using a fallback anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
it makes it easier on your ears.
So that's another thing, like, you know, sound and volume, and like I'm very like particular about it. I like music to be loud but not deafening. Yeah. Not ear ringing.
So I've always tried to look after my ears. Yeah. And honestly, like in the last 2-3 months, I've actually realized that I've lost a little bit of highs in my right ear because that's my fallback ear.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's been a bit of a scary awakening, in all honesty. Like, definitely wear your earplugs. Definitely.
Did you get it tested?
No, I haven't gotten it tested, but it's just like, I was just laying in bed and I was like, I can barely hear the cars outside. Oh.
Sometimes they can be wax related as well.
Yeah, I hope it's wax related.
Yeah, so
fingers crossed it's wax related.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, there might be a little, but you know, you can go to some of these like hearing places and do their free screening with the headphones.
Oh, the free screening. Okay.
Yeah, some of them will have like it will give you a rough idea of sort of where your ears are at, and you can do it will go up the frequency scale and then individual ear and stuff.
It's when you press the button, right?
Yeah, that or touch a screen or whatever it is, depending where you are.
Yep.
So like, definitely go do that, and then you'll know. At least then you'll know if you've lost something, or if, you know, you have to go see your doctor and get
get the earwax cleaned out.
So I'm very pedantic about sound. I've actually got molded plugs for my ears.
Are they expensive or?
Just under $200.
Okay, and worth it as well.
Sorry.
Worth it?
Yeah, I think they sometimes they will take away a little bit too much.
Can we look that up? So molded earplugs.
Yeah, so most audiology places will, you know, you can get them like musicians plugs, I think they'd be called.
Yeah.
Where you will get your mold of your ear done. So like, you know, and then they come on a string, so like they're around my neck. Yep. If the music's, you know, quite loud, it's great. Like I always take it to metros. I always normally have them with. Actually,
just like on your keyring.
Yeah, so
see, that's where it's like I don't really go to clubs anymore or anything like that. But at the same time, doing pubs and bars though, that's where
it's still like. But sometimes they don't engineer their sound there, right? And then you're getting like reverb off like metallic bits, and the hi hats are just like
muddy. Yeah.
So these are it basically. And so I got to choose my colors, so I had one for my right, one for my left, so I can identify, and then they're just great.
Easy, yeah.
Yeah, and I can still actually have a conversation with you.
Yeah, okay.
And then it just takes a bit off the overall sound. And I just thought, like, hearing is...
Yeah, it's important.
It's so important.
It's very important.
So why, got to start protecting it early, I think.
Yep.
And so, and that's why I don't sometimes play with a fallback, because it's just too loud.
Yeah. So do you ever find sometimes not having a fallback, it's like to be in the zone, in the mix in a way? Like for me, like, because I freestyle and I play commercial stuff. Yeah. Well, I play everything. At the same time, it's like being able to have the fallback loud That way, it's like I'm just in that zone. People are partying, and I'm partying as well. Like,
yeah, I don't really miss it too much. But I do see what you mean. Like, especially if you're kind of in an intimate dance floor kind of thing, where it's like all really close to you and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you're up on a stage, sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I quite like my headphones. They do isolate really well, and they're pretty bass heavy, so like I can isolate and then keep it pretty low.
That's it. Do you wear your earplugs with your headphones?
No, I haven't done that.
Yeah,
That's going to take too much away, because I mix on
thinking.
the hi-hats, and I need a little bit to be able to do it. If it's taking that away, I can't do it. So but I think, I saw there was a gig where there was an artist, Casper Coleman, I think he was, Progressive House.
Okay.
And he when he got to the venue, even though it was a small sort of venue, he put his earplugs in and he left them in through to when he was mixing and everything. So I asked him, do you mix with those? He's like, yeah. And he was like, just the other week I was in Sri Lanka and they had no idea what they were doing with the sound, and it was deafening. So like I wear my plugs and my headphones, so I just get used to mixing like that.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah,
which is really like cool. So
that definitely would be the way to do it, because if it is deafening and it's way too loud.
It's his livelihood. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of really like important. So that was kind of interesting that he said that's how he did it. And his, I think, were molded as well. But his, I think you could put different filters in there.
Okay.
So like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 dB, whatever you need. So that's pretty cool. Whereas these ones, I don't have that. It'd be nice sometimes to be able to take a bit off or add a bit more depending on what it's like.
Yeah.
So
that's very cool.
So yeah.
How did you get into like events then?
So
like just to progress it.
Yeah. So events kind of became like, we house parties. Like we threw house parties a lot in our house parties. Like
with the Alliance crew, or
within, like, not necessarily under the Alliance banner, but the Alliance crew people. So like it's gonna be a party. With like lights, good sound. Like just for my mate's 40th on Boxing Day, we had the Beat Slappers that came and played for us.
The what? The bass
Beat Slappers?
Beat Slappers.
So they're breaks, and they're like, they've been part of like Breakfast for like years, and they came and played at our party.
Sweet, yeah, okay.
Like, which is so cool. So just setting up those lineups and stuff, it was really interesting and fun. And then, I love, obviously, Liquid DNB, and it's very much not a huge thing in Perth. Like, I speak to people in the drum and bass community, and they're like, oh my god, we love it. DJs are like, oh my god, we love it, but we don't have anywhere to play it. We have nowhere to.
Yeah, it's usually just like more neuro or like dance.
Yeah.
Heavy drum and bass.
Yeah, and so they're like, yeah, we mix this at home a lot, but we want to. And they talk about Liquid Lounge, which was obviously a really great thing.
Put that up, like that Liquid Lounge was so.
Liquid Lounge was pretty cool, and so I've seen a few Liquid gigs put on here and there by various promoters, but it's been more the afterthought.
Is that it? That Liquid?
Possibly.
I
don't think it's that.
No, I don't think that was the Liquid Lounge.
That's not it.
Look up, Liquid Lounge Drum and Bass Perth. At Velvet Lounge, that was my uncle's pub.
Yeah, so really awesome when that stuff was going
Pegasus
down.
and System.
Some of the OGs in there as well.
When was that? What year was that?
2013.
2013, 11 years ago.
Yeah. So obviously Liquid Lounge and stuff, that was sort of before my time here in Perth and before my time in electronic music and stuff. So I'd seen the odd Liquid gig, but I definitely felt it's an underrepresented sound in drum and bass. And interestingly enough, like having a chance to play it at, like, let's say Blossom Festival and Full Circle Festival, where they're predominantly, they have a varied crowd, but it's like progressive, melodic, and then getting some of them to come and dance to Liquid and Dancefloor drum and bass, and them going like, what the hell is this? Like, what is this? So it was like, okay, let's create an event where we can bring Perth drum and bass and Perth house and techno together in one place.
Yeah, okay.
And enjoy common music. So that was kind of the vision behind it. And the guys at Full Circle, the guys, Bioma guys, so they're the ones that had given me my first opportunity to play this sound at their festival. So I got to play it last year, main stage, Saturday afternoon, have a rinse.
And so you're literally mixing the two genres together then?
So Liquid and Dancefloor drum and bass. So I didn't play like house prog and stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, going from 140 to 175. Then
but a lot of the breakdowns in Liquid are very melodic, elementy.
That's it, yeah.
And the drops aren't like super hectic, you know what I mean? Heavy, so it was like, okay, let's put these together, right? And so there came Nezus Productions.
Where did the name come from?
I was just inebriated conversations with like my mate at Neil, and we were listening to Liquid drum and bass, and I think some Jesus-y thing came up, and then Nezus was born, basically. So the Nezus is the deity.
Inebriated conversations and Jesus.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
Hey, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah,
so Nezus Productions, I founded
Jesus
it sort of...
is on your side.
Nezus is on your side. But anyway, so I created Nezus Productions, and I was like, okay, I want to start an event. I had no idea how to run an event. Like, doing house parties and stuff is one thing, but like, venues, booking, DJs, getting them to send press packs, like all this other stuff that I had to kind of discover, ticketing, etc.
Yeah, it's a lot to figure out, right?
But I will say 2 shout outs. One, the guys at Bioma, so specifically Ash, he was very supportive in sort of like helping me out to find my first venue, to kind of show me a bit of the ropes, and his partner, she was kind of my door chick for the first event, and absolutely loved it. And the guy you had here last week, Brendan.
Yeah, good old
Brendan.
Absolutely amazing. Just if he's watching,
big shout out to you, Brendan.
I actually messaged him. I told him, black and white, you are the perfect guest to have on.
Dude.
Yeah, he was so insightful, so much to talk about, so cool to talk
I learned so much last week.
That's it.
I was like listening to this like history. It was a history lesson, and then their sound system and this. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like,
so cool. Like, that sound system is mint.
Yeah. but shout out Brendan. Like, you spoke very highly of Andy Carpenter, and Andy's amazing, but you are literally like Andy 2.0 now. The things that he helped you with at the start when you were learning, like, you passed those lessons to me, and and he's a drum and bass promoter, right? So he didn't have to help a fellow drum and bass promoter, but he sees the vision, and he wants to help, and he's such a can't say enough about that guy.
That's it. Yeah.
And I got him he closed my first Liquid Ascension event. So had Liquid Ascension in December, first weekend of December. I decided to do it as a Sunday sesh.
Okay.
Outdoors.
What venue?
Old Habits in West Perth.
Ah, okay. Yep. Yeah.
So
it's quite a nice venue, that, right? I haven't actually been there.
Yeah, the outside, so they have an inside warehousey bit where you can throw bigger parties, and they had this outside, like, kind of decking, kind of outdoor vibes. Then they have like a wood-fired pizza oven and stuff. So like there was food, drinks.
Really, wood-fired pizza oven as well. Damn.
Yeah, so like they had a guy, someone making pizzas and stuff. So
that's good.
So it was actually pretty cool. So like I kind of went into it, kind of hoping, look, if I can get like 50 people, I'm gonna be happy. I was fully expecting to like not break even or anything. I was like, I don't care. It was on my birthday as well, so I was like, it's a birthday party if anything, but this is just something I'm really passionate about, and I just want to put it out there to Perth and see what's what. But
how was it for your first turnout?
We sold out.
You sold out.
Sold out, yeah.
Damn.
And it was like half Perth drum and bass, half Perth house and techno.
That's so good.
And like every single DJ, like I kind of was like, this is my vision, guys. This is what I'm wanting, and I kind of want this subtype of Liquid as we go through, and then I'll play, and then this, and then every single DJ absolutely nailed it.
Really? How did you progress it though? So it started off with like progressive house and techno and stuff, and then
so it started off with melodic breaks. My rule on that was it was going to be all broken beats.
Yeah.
So like, yes, you can start, and because it was 3 to 10 as
7 hours.
7 hours. So like in 7 hours, like I don't have time to start with this with prog, and then there's enough progressive house events in Perth.
Yeah,
there's enough.
There's a lot. Yeah,
there's enough. I don't need to tap into that.
Yeah.
So I was like, but melodic breaks would be a really cool way to start off. And Ash, he and our mate Jimmy, they did a back-to-back set of melodic breaks, and that just set such a great tone. You know, people were arriving, they were like all saying hello to each other, grabbing some drinks, whatever. And then from there we went to sort of like funkier Liquid and just kind of more chilled beats, I suppose, if you will.
Yep.
And that sort of built the dance floor. And then we had it going, and then one of my mates, Fade Out, aka Ricky, he played an awesome set from like 6 to 7, where he sort of sent it up a little bit. And I had 3 decks, so it was like 3-deck mixing if people wanted it, and he was doing a bit of 3-deck stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to do 3-deck mixing.
Yeah, and that gig was my first time playing 3 decks out.
Yeah,
so I played on 3.
How did you find it? Was it good playing on 3
Great.
deck?
Yeah. If you have, especially if you're trying to do stuff on the fly, it's going to be a bit difficult. But if you've prepared some tracks where 3 decks is going to work on the mix, then it's going to sound mint. And once you're in like that flow, like you're just in a zone, and it's great. And they were my decks, so like.
Yeah. What were they? 3000s or 2000s?
So I've got the XZ controller.
Okay.
Which is a 4-channel controller, but with 2 jog wheels.
Can we look that up? So XZ controller.
Yeah, and then I have a TDJ 3000 connected to it.
Just one 3000.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so expensive, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I managed to get mine like on sale, which was great, but it's still not.
Yeah, not cheap.
Yeah. So that's the XZ.
Yeah.
So then I jumped on at like 7. It's about sunset, so I went back to like deeper vibes, and then went, okay, now we're gonna start sending it, and then put like Dancefloor drum and bass in there, and then Dancefloor with like liquidy elements, and like we had a dance, it was heaving, man. It was great.
That's so good though.
And then Brendan came on afterwards, because I said to him, I was like, yo, can you like, you know, go a bit on like the darker Liquid, you know, just like a bit heavier, I suppose. Give the drum and bass people what they want, but not too much. This is not
just sprinkle it on.
Just sprinkle a little bit for the drum and bass purists, you know. Because like everything I played wasn't necessarily Liquid, but you gotta like. We can't be be so regimented.
So
right?
That's it. That's where it's like a lot of events that it is just the one genre, just one style, and it's like for 5 hours. It's like do you know Gesaffelstein at all?
No.
So Gesaffelstein's heavy German techno, French
techno,
right?
Yeah, okay.
And so with that, I was over in Melbourne. Got to the nightclub when it first opened, because I didn't really know anyone, so I just want to go and hang out. But to be in a nightclub just playing heavy industrial techno for 5 hours, like by the 3rd hour, I was kind of like, can he just jump on now, please? Like, I really want to see him, but and then as soon as he's finished, I kind of left. But it's like to have multiple genres in one event. That's a great idea.
But we have to be. I think you have to be careful with like within. If you have too many, like if you have like, let's say, house breaks, drum and bass, all in a very short event. Like also the crowd doesn't know what they're getting.
Going on next. Yeah.
So like we kept it mostly Liquid. And obviously melodic breaks, but it was like different types of Liquid, I suppose. So people could kind of hear different bits and different energy levels. Because that's sometimes what I find in a lot of, single genre events is like if you change the energy of the type of house or the type of bass house or the type of tech house as you're playing it, with house especially, you got a nice BPM range that you can work within. You can start at 120 and go up and down.
That's it.
Drum and bass is pretty much 174, right? So you have to change the style of it, I suppose. And then Brendan came on and he closed the party with some awesome like darker, heavier Liquid tunes. Oh, it's still vocal driven. So like, I was like, I was just speechless. Like I was kind of like, hey, if I can get 50 people to enjoy this, I'm happy.
That's amazing though. Your first event sold out. Like.
Yeah. So
that's so good.
So we got another one coming up on St. Paddy's Day, 17th of March, same venue. Tickets are already up at the moment. Yep. And we have a really cool lineup. We've got.
Is it going healthy at the moment as well?
Early birds are out, so I've sold out on the early birds. Yep. But
just because, like how we were talking about before, it's Perth. It's like
Perth is very last minute, and actually, you know what? That the whole experience of setting up an event has made me start to kind of think to buy tickets earlier, because in the end, fortunately, my gig was a small gig, and I sort of was not going in expecting to break even. But do this a lot more, have bigger events and stuff. And like, if they're looking at ticket sales, they're like,
well, look what happened to Groove in the Moo. Can we pull up Groove in the Moo?
Oh yeah, that was so sad.
How that's affected Australian nightlife culture.
Yeah.
Like festival culture. Like, that is crazy how it's like they have the festival still, I think, like 2 months away or something like that, or 3 months away. But it's because they initially haven't sold enough tickets. Yeah. They can't gamble their money on it.
Correct.
Basically.
Yeah. And I mean, look, there's so much competition now. There's so many events and stuff. But yeah, like I've started to consider buying tickets earlier than I was doing before.
Yeah. Just
from that point of view.
But how do you educate people?
You can.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's it. People just...
We can just talk about it. And, if like maybe 5 people listen.
Yeah.
And one person goes, okay, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to think about that.
That's the thing about it.
Right.
If you see something, I mean, I guess you can sell your ticket, but then it's a bit more complicated.
It's a bit more work. But like, let's say one person listens to this conversation and goes, okay, I'm going to do it. But when they'll go, okay, I'm going to this, they'll text their mate, go, I'm going to this, I've got my ticket, come grab a ticket. And maybe that might change it a bit. But, we also have to respect the fact that, I mean, like Spotify, right? Because you can choose to listen to what you want when you want.
Yeah.
Back in the day when it was radio or whatever, like you had to wait to listen to what you wanted to, etc. So if you have 5 events on a Saturday, you can decide on the day, what am I feeling and what do I want to go to, as opposed to, hey, I've got to decide this 3 weeks from now or whatever, or 4 weeks from now.
That's the balancing act with it. But at the same time, being able to go, okay, well, I've already bought my ticket. It's already reserved. It's in my calendar. I took work off for it. I'm going.
Yeah.
But then, you have a car accident or something happens, and you're like, well, there goes my ticket. Yeah. But at the same time, like you said, it's like, oh, there's 5 different venues, 5 different events on. Which one am I going to go to? And you can maybe even go to 3 of them. Yeah.
And I guess the other thing is, like, the other factor now is, running events is so much more expensive. And so that is reflected on ticket prices. Like, there aren't going to be as many, here's $5 to go to an event anymore,
That's it, like back in the day,
you got your venue hires. A lot of venues are now not giving free venue hire the way they used to.
Yep.
Or conditional venue hire, like bar makes X amount, you get your money kind of thing.
Yep.
And this is in just my real short space of learning. It's been a freaking uphill kind of lesson.
But it's good to dive into it because it's something that's not really talked about much, where it is like, say there are venues in Perth where say it might have an upstairs balcony area, but if you don't sell enough tickets, then they'll be like, well, sorry, you are restricted to the main dance floor area. You can't have that area. Yeah. But then they'll also be like, well, if you're not going to fill up that balcony area, then you're going to have to pay for this downstairs bit a bit more because well, if we're not going to generate from that, then and you can see they have to pay their bills too, right? That's exactly it. Yeah. And for me, it was like quite important to pay my DJs as well. That was my number one thing as well. I wasn't going to do this like exposure or whatever. It was like, I'm going to pay my DJs because like I'm trying to deliver a great product. So I had like lighting, I had like really good sound, like everything was kind of set up to provide a good experience. Did you just have the in-house sound, or did you bring your own speakers? So I had a mate. He runs the Ocean warehouse parties and Ocean warehouse. OSHUN. So he does the odd warehouse party and stuff. Never heard of them before, actually. Yeah, tribal house kind of vibes. I've been to a couple of their parties. They're legal, right? Oh yeah, totally legal. Yeah, they're just birthday parties. Yeah, that's it. It's birthday parties for us and a few friends. Yeah, yeah. Very cool. But anyways, that his sound. Oh, we found it. Ocean Vibes. Ocean Vibes. Yeah. Definitely give that one a follow. So his sound was at this same venue for a Biomo event with that Casper Coman guy. Yep. So I heard these speakers in the outside area where I wanted. And I was like, okay, this is what I want. You can get mini function ones, you can get a mini traction system, whatever. But for me, I was like, I don't want such a big sound rig there. I just want to create a vibe. And this is what speakers did they have? Or can we go on photos? I have no idea what speakers he had. To be fair, they were just good ones. Just good speakers. It was just clean and crisp. And actually, we went there in the morning, and like I had like 3 or 4 reference tracks that we used. Yep. To I think the speakers are usually hidden on his one. Actually, I don't think you'll be able to see them. That's pretty cool if they're a custom setup though. Yeah, so we sort of like for
half hour or whatever, use the reference tunes. And he hadn't really done drum and bass before, so I was like, oh, can we do this to the sound? Can we do this to the sound, etc. And it was pretty awesome actually. To have that sound there, and it sounded great. Like you didn't really need
clean,
earplugs.
crisp,
it was clean, crisp. You could have a dance and you could still have a conversation. There was just enough bass. It was just, I really enjoyed it. And then obviously nighttime lasers, lights. My friend Bryce was on that.
Yep.
He does quite a lot of gigs around actually in Perth. Okay. He's doing one every weekend usually.
Yeah.
Lights, lasers.
Did Bryce used to work at Capital Nightclub? Do you know?
Not sure.
Okay.
Maybe.
He's a bit of an older guy. He's got a beard.
No.
Okay.
He's got a little bit of a beard, not much of a beard.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, no.
Yeah, maybe. Bryce, good chap. Is his face.
I wonder if it's the same guy I know.
Maybe. It's Perth, man, right? Yeah, it's Perth. Small. It might be, right? Yeah, that's probably like two Bryces in Perth, and it's probably not.
Yeah, they play with lasers. Yeah.
But really nice guy, and it just, I'm still kind of buzzing really from it. It was probably.
How long ago was your first event?
December. So my thing with December just gone. So my thing was, I don't Perth drum and bass is competitive. There's a lot happening. You have Inhibit, Higher Ground. There's obviously your two big players, no one but us people and whatnot. But it's very competitive, and even if some of the crowd that I had was like Perth House and Techno, like that's also competition in quotation marks for it. So how much do I have capacity for? It was like once a quarter. Is
that's fair.
Once a quarter, I think keeps it, exclusive enough that it's like you haven't forgotten about it. You can still be talking about your other one, and then we could go to that one. So if it's every week, I think you'll lose quality. I think
that's it, and it's hard to get people to keep going to consecutive events almost like because there's so much competition.
So I think once a quarter I was like, and for me I really wanted especially the first couple to be outdoors, in the deck, sun coming down. Like that's literally my vision for Liquid, because that's like just the vibes. If it was like near the beach, I would have been like even better. Right. And January, February were like stinking hot, so
it's been so hot here
recently. I mean, I'm not complaining because I prefer summer to winter.
I prefer winter to summer, or like nice autumn or spring or something. But
so like I but you can't, if it's like more than 35 degrees, you can't really be doing an outdoor event without it being too uncomfortable. So hoping by March, Paddy's Day, it will be
hopefully it will cool down.
So
do you know, with you running it on St. Paddy's Day, if they're running an event inside?
No. They're running an event the day before.
Okay.
Which is their 2-year party, I think.
Okay, very cool.
But as far as I'm aware, it's just me. I think the way the setup is, like, you have to go through the outside bit to go inside kind of thing, so I don't think they'd be running two things at once.
Yeah, that makes sense, But that's it. So, like, running an event, can you imagine it's just like putting the pieces together and just trying to figure out how the jigsaw puzzle works, right? There's not really like a way to educate yourself on it. You just got to ask questions and talk to people that they've done it.
Exactly that. Having a bit of business experience helps. To like just work on making a spreadsheet, but you just got to take a punt. And I think if you're passionate enough about something, you can try to do it. Like, I'm very passionate about this sound.
I was just about to say I can tell it's very good though.
And like I just want to share that with people, because like I stumbled across it. And I was like, oh my god, what's this amazing sound? Like, hey, all you people all my house heads, I hated drum and bass, to come. Let me show you this thing though. This thing is pretty freaking cool.
That's so cool.
It was a really great adventure, like putting, learning how to freaking use Canva to like do the posters. Like, I'd never done any of that stuff before. Learning how to use like ticketing software. Like, no idea how to do any of that.
But that's the thing about it. It's like, from doing all this stuff, you're learning on the go, learning on the fly, and these skills can be applied to so many different things.
So true. And it's just and on the day was really interesting, because it's just like Nezus is just me at the moment. So I had obviously friends help, etc. on the day, but on the day it's like, going there early, helping with setup, getting the decks there, helping get the sound ready,
And always on setup day, something goes wrong, right?
Oh, yeah. Did it ever?
What happened with your? Well, what happened?
So we got there, and we were hoping to, obviously, because it was outdoors. Bryce with lights, he was like, "Yeah, I want height. I want this." I was like, "Yeah, cool." And we get there, and there is this like cable tied shade cloth over our area. I was like, "What is this?" So I didn't get there first. People got there first, and I'm like 2 minutes away, and I get a call like, "Hey man, where are you?" I was like, "Oh no, guys, what's going on?"
What's happening?
So then I called the venue owner who I was chatting to, and luckily he picked up. He was down south, but he picked up, and I was like, "Hey, what's this? Like, wasn't expecting this to be here." And I was like, "Can we take it down?" He's like, "Yeah, fine." But like, because it's like a weird tall structure, we had to like try to get on the roof and stuff. Like, it was an experience to say the least. But
yeah.
So but then once that was done, everything else sort of came together. But like on the day, like playing at the event, you know, making like, you know, taking care of the DJs, making sure all that was there, talking to everyone, kind of taking care of a couple door issues here and there. Like it was quite a lot. It was fun though. Like for me, like seeing everyone so happy, seeing everyone dancing, and just like, you know, even like partially feeling the passion I have for this sound and like having a groove. I was like, that's what made it, right? That's what makes it. Like if people are having a great time,
that's it.
I'm having a great time.
That's exactly it. And it's like, I think the statistic is, there is a statistic for it, but it's like, if someone goes to an event and they have a great time, it's like 70-80% chance that they will go back to another event similar.
Yeah.
But if they have a bad time, there's like a 20% chance they'll go back.
Yeah.
10%.
That makes sense. And that was a fear. That was a fear. And then it's been like, people are like, "So when's your next one?" I'm like, "Well, that first one went so much better than expected." I can imagine
that would have been so good. Like at the end of the night, when you're packing up and you've just gone home, got in bed, and you're just like,
"Oh, wow." There's kick-ons afterwards.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. You got to have kick-ons.
It was my birthday. We had some kick-ons.
Oh, it was your birthday?
It was on my birthday. Yeah,
that's very cool.
It just happened to fall on my birthday. It was just the date that was available.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then it kind of like, well, that went so well. Am I going to be able to run it back just as good or better or whatever? But I'm not, like, I think, you know, I'm going to do my best not to compare the events. They're just going to be different. Your first one's your first one, you know what I mean? It's always going to have a different kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know, all apart from me, it's all new DJs for the next one.
They always say, like, lots of promoters and event organizers and stuff say it's like the first event's the best event or the easiest event, or, you know, still hiccups and this and that. But then the second event's quite difficult. The third event is even more difficult, depending on obviously how often you throw them and everything like that. But after the third event, then you create your brand. Yeah. And then you just keep trying to get more and more.
That's interesting, actually. That's actually, that makes sense, because like, you know, your first one or two, like you might get a bunch of mates that will come in.
Yep.
To just support you, etc.
Yeah, and just come hang out. Yeah.
And they'll buy a ticket, whatever, because they're supporting their mates.
Yep.
And then, it's like after a couple, maybe they're not available, you know, maybe, you know, there's other events for other friends that we're supporting. So like, you're right. That's going to probably be when it happens. And that's, you know, I think that's part of my thing of once a quarter was like, let's not have it too often.
Yeah. But that's a good amount of time, once a quarter. Yeah. Because then people can still go to other events, have fun, do this, do that.
And then it's like, oh yeah, that Liquid event. Yeah, we should.
That's
we
exactly
should go to that. So I'm obviously hoping for another, you know, one. If I have a couple more successful ones, then hopefully we can maybe scale up venue to something a bit bigger. Maybe bring, you know, interstate producer or someone across. But there's so much talent in Perth, though. This is the thing.
Yeah, there's so much talent in Perth.
Perth has so much talent. You know, and it was very evident of that world record thing that we have. I was like,
well, that's how I met you. Yeah,
that's where I met you. Yeah, it was freaking awesome.
Can we actually dive into that? So the Guinness World Record.
Yeah, that thing.
Google if you guys can and find that Perth now holds the world record. Yeah, the most amount of DJs back to back playing one set.
Yeah, I believe 183 was our total in the end.
It's pretty cool. It's not bad.
Yeah, and like it was just, I was there for a few hours. I wasn't there right from the start, like you would have been, I guess. But it was such a great accomplishment, and like, you know, props to you guys for like, you know, recording, streaming. Like even I had friends that couldn't make it, but they were watching the stream. You know, props to like the organizers, like Elise, Kieran,
and Alice
Simon.
as well.
Yeah, like all of them.
Yeah, and Simon. Yeah.
Like
to get all of them,
every single one. Like, if I forgot your name, I'm so sorry, but like, you guys were all legends in, like, you know, not just putting together this many DJs, but, you know, having, you know, putting all the tracks in an order, putting cue points on each of those tracks to, like, you know, see how it goes. You know, you had like Elise and Lily 5-foot that were like teaching people on a spare CDJ, okay, this is what you're gonna have to do, this is how you gotta go in, XYZ, etc.
If you click videos, you want to find it where I was interviewing people. Oh my god, that was so funny.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, like I've never been in that situation before. I'm like, let's just do it.
Yeah,
and
honestly, man, like, you smashed it.
Yeah, thank you. As I said, like, I lost my voice at the end of it. Like,
oh, I can imagine, man. Like, because you had to be pretty loud to start with, just to get over that sound of music. Yeah. But this was just
scroll like maybe like 30 minutes in or something like that. There was like a part where it's like, as soon as anyone, so like I interviewed so that's DJ. Oh, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. She's a lovely lady, really cool chick. But it's just funny. It's like, as soon as I get off, I'd be like, run over and be like, hey, you want to come on the interview? Like, just try and nab you straight away.
Yeah, and that's the perfect time to do it, because they're still on the high of what they've done. But it was great to see, like, people that look like they'd only just touched Dex for the first or second time.
Yeah.
And then you had people that obviously were like super experienced DJs.
Look at this guy; he's having a great time.
And it was very interesting. Like, I hadn't really looked at, like, I knew, okay, so I'm DJ number this is my track. I hadn't really looked at the track I was mixing into. I was like, it's 174, it's fine, whatever, it's okay.
Yep. And
then I get there, and like, these, you know, really experienced DJs who I see at festivals, and they're looking nervous. I'm like, yeah, what are we nervous about? Like, we're just like, it's CDJ 3000, so
don't
like,
stop the music.
Well, CDJ 3000s are like super easy to use. And I was like, this is fine. And then I was like, holy shit, if they're nervous, maybe I need to be, I'm going to go listen to the track that I'm going to be mixing. Worst thing I could have done, I was like, oh my god, this track does not fit. How am I going to do this? What are we doing? Threw
yourself into panic mode. Oh, that's so good.
And then in the end, like, it was fine. Got through the mix, but I'd made sure it was going to be not a difficult mix. It was just a little bit of a loop, and then just cut the loop, put the vocal in, done. That's it. Nice cut mix. It was almost but it was so cool to see the different genres of music, and, like, you know, people that, like, I danced to music I wouldn't normally dance to, you know, and it was just cool to see people enjoying each other's, like, music. Oh, there's Elise.
Yep.
I think I was like 2 or 3 after, I think, maybe, can't remember. But it was just so cool to see Perth come together and do those. And, like, the pride, the moment we hit that record, and, like, the dance floor was wild. Although I don't know if that was the actual record number, because I think our counting was a bit out. Because I think on the day it got to like 200.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
but we only got to like 183 or 184 or something. Yeah. But it was such a great thing, and I'm hoping that we get to hold this for some time, because there's a lot of pride in everyone that was there, and awesome. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there you are, there having a great time.
Yeah, once I made that loop, I was like, all right, we're chilling now. It was like a 64 beat loop or something like that, I think. And it was just like, enjoy it. And it was nice to, like, I never played at the court, you know, and it was like, well, even though it didn't play at the court, it was still playing at the court on that rig there, which was pretty cool. But yeah, good tunes, good vibes. Still need to get my certificate though. Haven't done that. We need to do that. Yep, get it framed. Put it somewhere, you know. It'd be good.
Somewhere nice. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're running out of time, but, like, what have you got planned other than doing the events quarterly? What other gigs have you got planned? Because do you play at your own events as well? Or?
So I played at the first one. So I played the sort of the prime time slot, whatever you want to call it, sunset set. I gave myself an hour and a half.
Yep.
So this time around, I'm not.
It was your birthday as well.
Yeah. So this time around, I'm not playing that set. I'm playing earlier. So I'm going to play earlier, get to play some of my deeper Liquid, different sounds, and then also just, you know, let others kind of join in on this passion. Hey, share your Liquid with me. Like, share Liquid with Perth that's there, and let's make a thing out of this. So I've got that. So I'm playing at that, obviously, and then unfortunately Full Circle Festival just got postponed.
Oh, really?
That was going to be March long weekend, but there was some some issues with the site or whatever, and I know these guys, they're probably hurting more than anyone else, but they're also about quality, so they're going to deliver a great quality event, and when it's there, I'll be playing there as well.
Well, that's good though. That's the way to look at it as well. Like, the hiccups happen, technical things happen. You just got to deal with it, move on.
Yeah, and I saw a few of those guys there over the weekend. They're in good spirits considering everything that's gone down, so I know they're going to be delivering an amazing job. Got a couple sets at Blazing Swan.
Sweet. Very cool.
Got one at Abode Camp, so Vishnu's kind of got me gonna play drum and bass.
Is it gonna be your first Blaze or?
No, I've been to 3. So after my first Blaze, I was like, I want to start DJing, and then that was my final like nail in the coffin of like, you're gonna join this DJ hype. And then I went last year, played a few sets, and then this year I've got a couple lined up. But actually, just a few weeks ago, I got a message from the guys at Roller.
Yeah, okay.
Like, my jaw is still on the floor from that. They're like, hey, we're really loving it. Roller is like the OG Perth event.
That's it. Easter, long weekend.
Easter Thursday, Rosemount. Yep. So basically, I'm playing there, and then the next morning, I'm leaving for Blaze.
Really?
Yeah, and I've got a set Friday afternoon.
Straight to Blaze.
Yeah. So the artwork looks amazing as well this year. So yeah, I got a message from them, and they were like, "Hey, we're really digging your sound. Wondering if you want to be a part of this." And I was like, "Yes,
yes, please." Sign me up.
I've been to a few rollers as well, and it's just some really that's coming up. And then after that, I don't really have anything concrete, if you will. I might actually spend some time learning Ableton. Yeah, I think after this Blaze thing, like a few house parties and stuff, but I might actually spend a bit of time, because it's been non-stop since I started, and sometimes it does get frustrating when you're like trying to put
a full-time job whilst also doing that. It's like
your creativity can go sometimes. And then
have R&R, just rest.
And like, and I like to, some sets I do like to prepare, some sets I will do on the fly, some sets I'll change things around, but with some of the like vocal tracks, I like to like layer vocals and stuff, and like that takes a lot of hours on a laptop to just get it on that for like precise moments and practicing that and stuff. So it does get a lot when you're kind of looking at it going like, I can't find a track that's going to fit here, this is pissing me off. And like it just so maybe we'll take like a little bit of time and not book gigs necessarily.
Just like refine, because like what actually is your sound? How would you describe your sound?
Liquid and Dancefloor is probably the overall kind of genre to put it under, but I love mixing breaks too. I love mixing house, but like when people think Telloport now, they think Liquid. That's what they think. But Liquid, you can I class some Dancefloor-y drum and bass as Liquid because it's got liquidy elements. Like music, I think it's to what you hear, and if it sounds about right, it's good. But but Liquid drum and bass would be the overall. That's what I enjoy. But there's Liquid that I don't like, depending on the style.
That's like I was saying before. It's like you got to dig through and find what you like.
Yeah.
Because some people like different things and this and that, but music is music. It's so subjective.
Music, man. It's very subjective. On a given day, you'll like something that you've bought on Beatport. You're like, I like this track, and then you listen back, and like, what the hell was I thinking? When I was.
So that's it was quite funny. I was talking to my mates about this the other day, where it's like how music has developed over the years. And it's like Adventure Club and like Casper and Rusko and stuff like that. And when you compare the old stuff compared to now, it can be very noisy and harsh. But that was what was in. Skrillex, Scary Monsters, Nice Sprites. You really listen to that and you're like, holy crap, what was I listening to? But it was so good and revolutionary for its time.
And people also change. Like, some of your best albums you hear are like when they've had a breakup.
That's it.
Like they just Sam Smith's album, like he's the one that got him famous in the UK and stuff. That was after a breakup. Like that was a breakup album. Wow. So like, because music, I mean, for me, it's very emotional. Like I want to tell a story through a set. I want to tell a story sometimes through the vocals, sometimes through the sounds and stuff. So it's like, it's got emotion to it. And like when you are most emotional is when but when you're feeling stressed and it's like all too much, like sometimes it can you're not going to have your best art, I don't think. But
that's it.
So we might take a bit of a break after Blaze, and then
just hone in and just
hone
figure
in,
it out a bit more.
learn a bit about production, maybe, and start obviously planning the next Liquid Ascension. Hopefully this one goes
Funnily
well.
enough, Putty, who lives with me, Ewan, he does production lessons and he's very good at it.
I have heard that he's very good. I think they just had like a wasn't he just part of like they had this
he just did an SAE course thing. He's an instructor.
Yeah,
he's a teacher.
Well,
he's
cool.
a full proper.
Hello.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, after this, I'll I'll
hello
introduce you to him. Yeah.
So it's one of those where like I think that's what I'm gonna maybe do a little bit more of, because like I bought Ableton, so now I've got to like actually use
and it's like it's a whole nother ball game, honestly.
Oh man,
it's like learning another language
I'm
almost.
Scared. I think there's an element of fear of it. Like people might not see me for a few months, but also like DJing, it happened so quickly, and it's become like so many opportunities.
Yep.
Being asked to play a place, it's actually just happened so nicely.
And when you add production to that as well, then it's even better.
But it's also like that's happened so fast. Like production's it's not gonna be that fast.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot slower.
Take a while, yeah.
But it would be nice to add, like to be able to just go and edit a track because you don't like something about it.
Yeah.
Or you just want to add something or whatever.
That's
and like
exactly
you see people like changing genre bending and stuff, like sticky buds and stuff, like so much production goes into it. It just makes for an amazing set. So it'd be cool to be able to do that. So
that's it, yeah.
That's the next idea.
Yeah. Anyway, cheers so much for coming on there.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah,
like this has been great. It's been nice to chat about
that's
everything.
it, yeah. Just hang out and I mean, so when's the next event again? So it's on St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's Day.
And which day?
March 17th.
March 17th, yep. How much are tickets at the moment?
So actually that's a good point. I think I can check. Hold on.
Oh, I think
actually you could go there. So just click that tickets.
So $22.49.
So that was the early bird. So that's out.
Yep.
That's done. I think the next one is the general release, which is like 30.
But for a 7-hour set, for a 7-hour gig, that's not bad.
Yeah, and the thing is, there's gonna be like good sound. There's gonna be lights, laser, smoke. Like it's gonna be there, and we've got some like amazing DJs that are gonna be a part of it as well. So So give us a punt, give us a chance, and I'm sure we'll make it work. But thanks for having us, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, and we will see you guys on Sunday. So we've got Bluntfield coming on Sunday.
Sick.
Yeah.
That'll be dope.
Yeah, that's going to be very cool. So, I've only just discovered him recently.
Yeah.
But then it's like, wait a minute, this guy knows Bliss and Esso and Hilltop Hoods. Like, this guy's pretty cool.
It's, who you'll meet randomly and who they're connected to. Like, you just never know, man.
Yeah, and how, actual popular they are. Like, Kieran's quite excited to actually, hang out with
he's already got the smiles going, man.
Yeah, and it was quite funny. Another mate of mine actually hit me up and was like, can I do the cameras on Sunday? And I was like, well, I got my producers already doing it. Like, maybe you can come hang out. Because he just wants to hang out. Like.
What time is that one on? On Sunday?
Will be on 7 p.m.
Okay. Yeah,
just normal time.
Normal time. Yeah, we'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Cheers. Comment. Do whatever.
Yeah. I put some comments in last week for Brendan.
Yeah. Like, cheers for that. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. Thanks so much, man.
No, it's all good. Yeah. Excellent. Cheers. And then we'll see you guys on Sunday. So, catch you guys. All right, yeah, there you go, yeah. Usually, you got to wave at the camera before. The mic's muted? No, the mic's still hot.
Still hot.
Oh,